Today, we all are gathered over here for celebrating our auspicious event, Realm 2021. Let us start this day by remembering our God and with a beautiful prayer.
The world is full of diamonds and gems, and today we have few of them present over here to build this event. Good morning. It's an honor itself to honor this beautiful audience who is gathered here today. I, Akanksha Maharana, with my co-host Paras Walia, welcome you all on this one big event, Realm 2021.
Before we begin, let us acknowledge the presence of our eminent guest, our principal, Dr. Kiran Mangaonkar sir, our head of the department, Professor Yogesh Kolhatkar sir, our core faculty, and also our chief guest, Mr. Rajesh Bhosle. Realm is an event which is organized and celebrated by BMS Department of Guru Nanak Khalsa College. It's an event that ink is positioned in the year 2018 and still continues to grow as cherished memories. I believe that energy transcends dimensions and we are just miles apart. And hence I can feel the energy and the enthusiasm you all have. Before starting the event, I just want to tell you guys, live your dreams, express your love, share your enthusiasm, take action towards your dreams, walk your talk, dance and sing to your music, embrace the blessings, and make today worth remembering.
Now we shall have our principal Dr. Kiran Mangaonkar sir for sharing few words of wisdom.
I am really happy to welcome you all to Realm 2021, an intercollegiate fest organized by our BMS department. This year, the theme of the fest is risk management. Since beginning of the year 2020, we faced COVID pandemic, which has brought all activities to standstill. The whole world observed heavy death toll, and the global economy was hampered to a greater extent during this period. Fortunately, the academics during pandemic could survive due to online mode of teaching and other online skill developmental programs conducted for the benefit of the student fraternity, and hence we are meeting online today. I take this opportunity to highly appreciate and congratulate our staff members and of course the student volunteers from our BMS department for taking a lot of efforts to organize this program. I wish a great success to Realm 2021 and of course all the best to all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving these precious words in this event. Now, here will be coming Nirmati, who will be singing a beautiful song with her melodious voice.
La 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 zoo 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 नहीं 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 ये बातें है पुरानी हो कैसी पहेली है ये कैसी पहेली जिंदगानी थामा हारों का इसको किसने है ये तो बहता पानी हो कैसी पहेली है ये कैसी पहेली जिंदगानी ला 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 zoo 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 आँखों में घर सपना नया आंसू तेरा एक मोती है बना सोनी नगर पे जैसे सोई ये छावनी सुहानी हो कैसी पहेली है ये कैसी पहेली जिंदगानी थामा हारों का इसको किसने है ये तो बहता पानी हो कैसी पहेली है ये कैसी पहेली जिंदगानी ला 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 zoo 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 la 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 ho eh ha 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 कैसी पहेली है ये कैसी पहेली जिंदगानी ना 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 ना
Thank you so much, Nirmati, for this lovely song. So now, moving ahead with the event, we'll have our head of department, Professor Yogesh Kulhatkar, who will introduce the chief guest of our Realm 2021.
We at Guru Nanak Khalsa College, Matunga, the BMS department, organize many events throughout the year so that students get a platform to actively participate in co-curricular and extracurricular activity. Realm 2021 is a BMS intercollegiate event with the theme Risk Management for the year 2021. This event provides opportunity for BMS students across colleges to network with each other. I am very pleased to introduce our guest for today, Mr. Rajesh Bhosle. He is a consultative and articulate telecom and IT professional with marketing DNA and educational background with a blend of technology and management. He has an industry experience of over 20 years. He holds a bachelor's degree in electronics and telecommunication from Mumbai University and master's in marketing management from JBIMS. Presently, he is working as a regional sales manager at X4. X4 develops smarter test monitoring and analytic solutions for fixed and mobile network operators. X4 is the communications industry test monitoring and analytics experts, pioneering essential solutions and technology for over 30 years. It is number one worldwide in fiber optic test solutions. I would request Mr. Rajesh Bhosle, our guest of the day, to enlighten our students.
Hello, Guru Nanak Khalsa BMS College student staff and all the participants of this Valhalla 2021 event. I hope you're doing well, especially amidst this unprecedented crisis of COVID, which has affected our work, life, and everything, almost, your academic life also. Okay. I'm Rajesh Bhosle. I'm basically a telecommunication and IT professional, having more than a double decade of experience, and my work experience is pivoted around telecommunication vendors and operators, like telecommunication vendor like Cisco, Nokia, then Alcatel-Lucent, and then a telecommunication operator like Reliance Communication, GTL, and Tata. Right, and my role was related to a pre-sales, business development, and network operations. And right now, I'm a regional sales manager at X4. X4 is basically a test and measurement company and analytics company in a telecommunication domain. Okay. And would like to thank you first for inviting me to share my thought as you open up your Realm 2021 event, whose theme is risk taking in entrepreneurship. And it's a well-known topic, well-debated topic, well-discussed topic, and especially when we are at the juncture where we are talking about self-reliant India. So then this entrepreneurship for India is going to be critical if we want to achieve a dream of a self-reliant India. Okay. Now, any successful entrepreneurship involves the taking of risk. Okay. If you do not embrace the risk, then you have to rethink that whether you want to be a business owner or not, because taking a risk, it doesn't mean that you're going to take any risk blindly. Of course, you have to take it with a calculated risk, right? When I say calculated, means what? You have to think over it. You have to go with the proper planning, right? And with this blind risk taking, you cannot expect the results, right? So taking a risk in entrepreneurship involves a careful planning and hard work, right? Now, you must be thinking, as an entrepreneur, why I should take a risk. Okay, I'll tell you 4 to 5 key or broad things which will help you to understand, if you want to be an entrepreneur, why you would like to take a risk. Okay, first, you don't want to regret in your life that what if I have done XYZ, but now I am regretting. Okay, I haven't done that, right? Because in that context, I remember one of the story of Jeff Bezos, of Amazon founder, you must be knowing, right? So he said that I knew, when I was 18, I was not going to regret having tried this. I knew that I failed, right? So I won't regret that. I know that I took a risk and I failed, but I don't want to carry that feeling of regret forever in my life. So I want to take a risk, and from that risk I want to learn. So take a risk. Okay. Even if you fail, when you take a risk, but you can learn from taking a risk actually, because whenever you take a risk, right, you fail. So when you fail, it doesn't mean that that risk taking has gone into vain. No, you can take lessons from that risk, like where you went wrong, and you can correct the course of action when you take your next calculated risk, right? So that's very important. And one more thing, like innovation and opportunities are tied to risk. Unless and until you take a risk, right, you won't be able to innovate and create the opportunities for you. For example, I'll give you an example of Elon Musk. Now, Elon Musk is into a domain, like he started with electrical vehicles, and then he moved to a space, right, where he started sending his rockets, which can carry a payload for entities like NASA, for example, right? Now he has moved beyond that. He has started taking a risk that why not use his rocket for hyper local transport, right? That's a risk. And second, one more thing, like we know when we want internet service, so we rely on the telecom operators. Now telecom operators are there using your local tower, and it's a mobile communication part. But now Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk, like people, they have come up with the idea, like wherever it's not possible for a normal telecom operator to take their internet services, why not bring innovative kind of approach based on the satellite. And those satellites are not our regular satellite. Those satellites are at hardly at 300-kilometer distance in comparison to your geostationary satellite, and offer the internet service by using those satellites. Now they are taking a risk of putting such 1,000 number of satellites above the earth to offer the internet services in the region where it's not feasible. But now in their path there are multiple risks, regulatory risk, where they are going to offer the internet services, local competition. But it's not stopping them from taking a risk, because they don't want to regret in their life. If I do not take a risk, I don't want to regret in my life. So by taking a risk, I'll come to know whether my move was correct or not, and it will help me to give a next direction. Okay. uh, if you take a risk in a life, it's good for, I would say, for your satisfaction also in your life, because you won't regret that I didn't take a risk after 10-15 years. I should have started this business, but after coming to 40s, then I realized, no, this is not the time. I should have taken this risk in my 20s, maybe during your college days right now, right? So if you start taking a risk, not only a business, in your life also related to your decision, it may be your education or a life partner or anything, just to give an example, you don't want to regret, because if you take a risk, you take an action, and after taking an action, you come to know whether you are right or wrong. So it's like a fail fast kind of approach. So you should take a risk. So if you take a risk, you will be content, or say satisfied in your life. Take my word. Okay. And if you take a risk, you'll get a competitive advantage, first more kind of advantage, right? Because you will be having a lesser competition if you take a risk. Take example of telecommunication operator. Now earlier, maybe before 2016, before Reliance Jio came, internet service was not affordable for everyone, right? Reliance Jio came. Now Reliance Jio, who is the owner, Mukesh Dhirubhai Ambani, he was into a petrochemical business, but he founded this telecom empire by taking a huge risk. So from 2016 till date, we can see that they have 400 million subscribers. So unless and until you take a risk, you will not have a competitive advantage. Now you see where Reliance Jio is, and other operators are following them. Those who took a risk, they disrupted the telecommunication industry. This is just to give an example from telecommunication industry, but there are other examples also. Take a e-tailer, Amazon, Flipkart, right? They took a risk to build their e-tail business. Now e-tail business, look at the kind of reach they have, bargaining power they have, the power they have, they can reach, right? So if you take a risk in entrepreneurship, you will have competitive advantage. Okay. Now, when you take a risk, like in a entrepreneurship, right? There are different type of risks, like so market risk, for example. Market risk is related to consumer trends, or like what are their tests. So you have to keep in mind that the market risk is one of the risk you're going to come across in your entrepreneurial journey. Second is a competitive risk, because as a startup, as an entrepreneur, when you enter into market, definitely there will be an entry barrier, there will be a stiff competition if there are players in the market, so don't forget about that. And the credibility risk. Now credibility, you're going to a market for the first time, your product should have credibility, right? Then only people will buy your product, right? So remember that a credibility risk. Then again, technology risk, because in today's business you have to rely a lot on technology. If your business is related to, say for example, financial payment, for example, right? So if you're relying on the technology for storing your financial data, right? So the risk could be like, if your server go crash, if security hack happens, then what to do? It is going to affect your business. So understand that there is going to be a technological risk also. And final, the most important is the financial risk. Unless and until your cash flow is in a positive, you won't be able to sustain. So in a business, at the end of the day, irrespective of technology you're using, unless and until your cash flow is not positive, your business are not going to sustain. You will be bankrupt, right? So my point is that it doesn't mean that you should take a risk at each and every turn of your life. No, you should take a risk. You should take a calculated risk, and that should be a thoroughly considered. Okay, avoiding unnecessary risk, for example, or saying no to new one based on your past experiment or experience, I would say, that's okay. But you have to find a right balance between taking a risk when it makes sense, even if there is a chance of failure, because even if you fail, you will find a way to succeed further, because you will learn from that. Okay, so don't forget that the risk is going to be important, right? If there is a risk, definitely the reward are going to be high. And now I would like to give one example. Recently I watched one web series on Harshad Mehta. Of course, don't take in that sense. When you take a risk and act in an ethical manner. So the one word dialogue, that risk hai to risk hai. Okay, so do watch that series for that. And I would like to share one article which I came across today in Live Mint paper. That was the life lessons learned from the COVIDian startup. There are few examples of a startup which came up during the COVID crisis. So definitely those entrepreneurs must have seen the opportunity during this crisis, and they took a risk to set up their business. So I would share that link with you. In fact, I have shortened that link for you. If you type tinyurl.com / your event's name, Realm 2021, REALM 2021, tinyurl.com / REALM 2021. So I've shortened the link of that article for you. Okay, so with this, I'll stop here. And thank you very much for giving me opportunity to share my thought on risk taking. Where I'm, in my life stage where I'm standing right now, I also feel sometimes, I should have taken a risk, right? So take a risk, because you don't want to regret in your life later that, you didn't take a risk. And take a risk, but take a calculated risk, right? This is the right time. And you can take a risk, of course, and calculated risk when you have that domain knowledge. First of all, of course, that domain knowledge will be getting from your academic and your self-study and self-reading. So continue that, because to take a risk, you should have a thorough knowledge of a market, political situation, legal situations, of pestle analysis. So bear in mind, but don't forget or do not hesitate from taking a calculated, well thought, ethical risk in your life, right? So it can be a business or your life. So thank you very much, and best luck for your event. Go. Right. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your such inspiring words. Now here I would like to call upon Navjot Kaur Saini, who will give vote of thanks.
Thank you so much, one and all, for taking out your time to be here today. I'm sure that you had a great time in our event, Realm. I would like to thank each one of you for your active participation, and our guest speaker Rajesh Bhosle, and our principal Kiran Mangaonkar, and our HOD Yogesh Kolotkar. I hope I see you next year with same participation. Thank you.
Thank you, Navjot Kaur, for your such a beautiful vote of thanks. So the best part of the event comes now, that is games part. So guys, we will be starting with the games part. So get ready for the games part and just go to the link which is provided to you, and we will be meeting you over there. Thank you.